I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. Content, content, content. That's what it's all about. If you're making a console and you don't have content that's going to draw people to what you've put out, then I think that that's going to really kind of leave you in a bad space. Now, with that being said, Sony seems to get it. Microsoft doesn't seem to get it, but Microsoft kind of does get it, but they refuse to get it in the way that they really should. And what I mean by that is having something exclusive to your platform is going to draw people to your platform. And so they get it. They obviously had to hire and buy a bunch of studios and things like that because they lacked it and they got steamrolled. And the problem is that they still are lacking content and having anything exclusively. It doesn't even have to be strictly your own content. I think having content that would push people to get it even early. Like I'm well versed in saying, even if it's time content, something like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which came out well over a year ago, probably closer to 2 years. Still hasn't gone anywhere. And, most people that are interested in it on PlayStation have already played it and enjoyed the hell out of it and, moved on. So when that does finally come to other platforms, it's like, who cares? You got it first as a PlayStation owner. Great pro PlayStation move by Sony. That's what it's all about. Now, when it comes to, what Microsoft did years ago, you can't deny that people were trying to stick up for what they were saying. Back in 2016, they announced that all their games are going to go to PC day and date with their Xbox. And since that point in time, they've been perpetually last place. They haven't got any more games out that people promised. I could remember people arguing with me, saying, "You know what? This is going to lead to many more games, and we're going to get this." And I mean, this was 5+ years ago, and it still hasn't led to that. Right? I mean, we're still in that situation, and people were like, Microsoft's so far ahead of the game, they're going to really crush Sony next generation, having games on everything, because we all want to take a poop and play and stream our games on our phone while we do it. And then the realistic side of that is nobody cares and nobody does that. So, a little bit of a downer there. But I do want to get into this. This is huge news. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you very much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for checking it out. And again, if you guys are looking for a way to, to help the channel out, guess what? A simple like goes a long, long way. Yes. 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 Thank you, guys. We are rebuilding, rebooting, and just redoing things around here, and I do much appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. Yeah, man, this has been fantastic to see this. Now, shout out to everybody that, especially Persona and Jabari for getting Sean Layden on their podcast, right? Absolutely incredible get. They asked him some tough questions. This one in particular about will major PlayStation games launch day and date on PC? And Xbox Sean Layden has stated that it's highly unlikely that Sony's first-party games will ever release on PC and consoles simultaneously, which I think makes a lot of sense because, first of all, you build a console that's going to take advantage of all these things that the console has. Particularly the PS5 has this great solid-state drive. That's on every single PS5, right? But that solid-state drive isn't required on PCs. So how would you get a game that's going to take advantage of the solid-state drive and be built for that, but also go to PCs that have no standard set of hardware, if you understand what I'm saying, right? Like, you got to filter in that somebody's going to have a crappy PC. Are they going to be able to play your game? So anyway, in a recent interview with What's Up PlayStation, ex-PlayStation Worldwide Studios head Sean Layden expressed his thoughts about the possibility of releasing Sony's first-party titles on PC simultaneously alongside consoles. Now, in the interview, he revealed that Sony's current strategy doesn't allow for such approach, and it does seem highly unlikely that it'll change in the future. Sony usually puts its first-party exclusives after a while on PC. If that, with gaps extending well over a year, this is, of course, a way to increase the value of any IP by increasing its install base and fans, which will then entice more consumers to buy into Sony's consoles when the next entry of the franchise will release exclusively for its platform. And this is what he had to say. The idea of going to PC, and I don't think you'll see ever see PlayStation do day and date with PC. But you know, never say never. But the strategy as we were developing it when I was there was that we need to go out to where these new customers are, these new fans could be. We need to go where they are because they've decided not to come to my house. So I've got to go to their house now. And what's the best way to go to their house? Why, you know, don't I just take up one of our top selling games, which is already blown up in the marketplace? It's already been out there for 18, 24 months. There's no real retail activity against that title. I'm not trading off one sale for another and bring that to a personal computer platform and let them have an idea. You guys choose from not to come to PlayStation, but let me show you what you're missing. Now, the strategy seems to be working incredibly well for Sony, as many fans are now clamoring to buy a PlayStation 5 to experience new entries in fan-beloved franchises like Horizon Forbidden West, after games like Horizon Zero Dawn or Days Gone went to PC a while back. Of course, Layden has hinted that it could change depending on customer behavior sometime in the future, but, you know, people shouldn't get their hopes up right now about that. And I think that one of the things that makes this such a fantastic thing to hear is because this is exactly what I said previously, right? And again, you don't have to be, you know, you don't have to be an insider or anything like that to understand where he's coming from. Okay, Sony is a hardware company, right? They want you to buy their hardware to play their games. And that makes total sense. You know, buy our hardware, play our games. That's exactly what you need to do in order to play your games. Now, like what I said with the games that they put out, those games were going for $5, and even in some cases were free. You know, so basically what that means is that people on PlayStation aren't buying this anymore, right? It's basically tapped out, and, you know, people are going to obviously be very aware of that, just, you know, from kind of like the future and things like that with what's been going on. So what we see is, you know, a fact where they're going to try and lure people into this. And I think that that is a smart thing to do, just from the simple fact that they're able to go out there and say, hey, you know what? Buy this console, right? And play the latest version of the game. And I think that's a very smart move. This is what makes me believe that, you know, probably God of War might come out sometime soon on PC, because you have the sequel coming out, you know, very shortly on PlayStation 5. So, yeah, that is very interesting to see that sort of happen, in the way that, like, fans are going to have to look forward to that. Like, for me personally, my most anticipated game, and it's definitely something that I am going to be super interested in. Obviously, it's like a day one thing, you know. Obviously, I'm a big God of War fan. I love that franchise, especially the reboot. The way that they redid that just simply blows my mind. And so, again, a lot of people might be under the impression that, you know, it really just comes down to things not being exclusive or other people getting to play. It's not true. But when you buy something specifically that's tailored to play what this company is supposed to be making, you should get the benefits of that, whether it be timed exclusive or full exclusive or whatever, right? Like, that should be a thing, right? Reward the people that are spending, you know, $550 a pop, instead of the people that aren't really invested in your ecosystem to begin with. So you reward the fans, not the people that aren't the fans, and the people that aren't the ones that are been supporting your company for years and years. And I think that's exactly sort of what he's hitting home at. And, you know, it makes sense to be able to go out there and say, okay, well, how can we lure some people in? And, you know, I think that's a smart thing, even if other people don't necessarily agree with that. I do think that it's a super smart idea. And I love the fact that, you know, he's being honest about this, saying, hey, we can get these people in on our ecosystem and see what they think. And I like that. You know, that's a very critical thing. Like, listen, how is Uncharted 4, which came out in 2016, going to PC in 2022, which, I mean, you can do the math, what is like 6 years later or whatever. You know, I just think that it's one of those things that realistically was bound to happen, you know, and it makes sense because you want to draw people to your platform. Is there even going to ever be another Uncharted game? I think probably if there is, it won't be for years and years and years. So who cares? I mean, that's an old PS4 game. You know, it's the same thing like Days Gone. We're not going to get a sequel to that. The game came out, sold well, but nobody was buying it. They were giving it away for $5. You know, it's on the PlayStation Collection, or same like Horizon Zero Dawn, same thing. So you've maxed that out. You know, you've sold. You know, I think Horizon sold 12 million or something on PlayStation. So I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it does sound good. I like that this is the fact, and it's different than what Microsoft is doing. It still gives people an incentive to, you know, it's still leaving an incentive to get up the console. Thank you for watching. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up, crap gamer out.